Dear brothers and sisters, dear friends in the journey of life, sometimes life feels like a road lost in fog, where the next step is hidden and the heart grows tired. We carry wounds that no one sees. We cry prayers that no one seems to hear. But listen carefully. Even when we do not see it, hope is never lost. Hope is like a tiny flame hidden in the coldest night. It may tremble, but it never goes out. Gentle pause today. I invite you to walk with me through 5 small windows of light. Signs that hope lives among us, even now. Hope is born in the simple acts of love. It is not always found in grand speeches or mighty works. No, it rises quietly, like the morning sun slipping over a tired city, like a seed cracking open the dark soil. Hope is born when love moves among us, silent and sure. Think of the mother who, even when her cupboards are nearly empty, manages to prepare a warm meal for her children. She does not shout her sacrifice. She does not make the world notice, but in the humble clatter of her pots, in the careful dividing of bread, hope is being born. In her tired hands, in her worn smile, God is at work, weaving life where there seemed to be none. Hope is born in the old man who visits his neighbor each morning in bringing fresh water to her broken doorstep. In the refugee who, though carrying the weight of exile, teaches his son how to pray each night before sleeping. In the young woman who stays behind after a storm to sweep the muddy streets of her village. Each of these are small acts, almost invisible, yet in the eyes of God. They are the building stones of a new world. Jesus himself showed us this path. He did not ride into the world on chariots of gold. He came quietly, as a child laid in a manger, wrapped in the rough cloth of the poor. He healed with his hands, with his voice, with his tears. He touched the leper. He knelt beside the blind man. He looked into the heart of the sinner and called forth hope. The world often tells us that to be important we be great. We must be powerful. We must be seen. But the gospel tells a different story. It whispers to youth, blessed are the meek, blessed are the merciful, blessed are the pure of heart, blessed are those who love quietly, expecting nothing in return. Hope is not a dream reserved for the strong. It is a daily bread offered to the weak, the weary, the forgotten. It is a cup of cold water in a dry land. It is a candle lit in the window for a lost traveler. And so, dear brothers and sisters, we are invited not to wait for perfect moments, not to hold back until we have much to give, but to begin today, to begin now with what we have, where we are. a word of encouragement, a hand to lift the fallen, a moment of listening to someone who has been silenced too long. Each small act done with love becomes part of the great river of mercy that flows from the heart of Christ. Each small act builds a bridge where there was only a wall. Hope is born when we love, even when it costs us something. Hope is born when we see the face of Christ in the poor, in the sick, in the stranger. Let us then, without fear, become sowers of hope. Let us bend low in service so that Christ may be lifted high in the hearts of those we meet. And let us never forget, every small act of love matters. It matters to the one who receives it. It matters to the heart that gives it. And it matters to the God who sees all things. Gentle post. Today, let us ask for the grace to love simply, to hope stubbornly, and to believe with all our hearts that even in the smallest gesture, heaven draws near. Hope is stronger than the wounds we carry. There is no life untouched by sorrow, no heart that has not been broken in some way. We are all in some measure wounded travelers on the road, carrying burdens that few can see, enduring struggles that words often fail to express. A young man returns from war, his body scarred and his spirit weary. He finds the land he once called home unfamiliar, and he wonders if he will ever feel whole again. Yet one morning, he kneels in the garden behind his mother's house, and with trembling hands, he plants seeds into the earth. It is a small thing, a silent act, but there, among the torn fields and broken memories, hope begins to grow. An elderly woman, long forgotten by her family, walks each afternoon to sit on a children's playground. She listens to their laughter, watches their games, and though she carries the age of loneliness, she smiles. Her heart, though bruised, still knows how to rejoice. She has not allowed her sorrow to harden her. She has chosen day after day to believe that joy can still find her. This is what Christ shows us when he stands before his disciples after the resurrection, not hiding his wounds, but showing them. See my hands and my side, he says. He does not erase the marks of the cross. He transforms them. What once spoke of death now proclaims life. The risen Lord carries his wounds, but they have become fountains of mercy and signs of victory. We, too, are invited to walk this path. Our wounds do not define us. Our brokenness is not the end of the story. God does not abandon the wounded. He comes closer to them. He draws near like a physician to the sick, like a shepherd to the sheep that has strayed. If we entrust our hurts to him, the sorrows we hide, the failures that shame us, He will not turn away. He will touch them with tenderness. He will breathe new life where we believed all was lost. And He asks us to do the same for one another, to see not only the scars, but the person behind them, to listen patiently to the stories that others carry in silence, to walk alongside those who feel forgotten, knowing that no wound is too deep for God's healing love. Hope is stronger than our wounds because it does not deny them. It redeems them. It makes the broken whole, not by erasing the past, but by filling it with new meaning. So today, dear friends, let us bring our wounds to the Lord. Let us not be ashamed of our scars. And let us be instruments of His compassion for others who walk with heavy hearts. For every wound that we place in His hands becomes a doorway through which His light can enter the world. A gentle pause. Let us trust in this promise that even now, even here, the love of Christ is stronger than every hurt, every fear, every sorrow we bear. Hope listens to the cry of the poor. It does not turn away. It does not cover its ears or busy itself with excuses. Hope bends down. Hope draws near. Hope sits at the side of the one who suffers and says, "You are not forgotten." There is a story of a small village where the river had dried up and the land was cracked and barren. The people were losing heart. They gathered each day to pray, but their prayers became quieter, thinner, weighed down by fear. Then, one evening, an old woman who lived on the edge of the village brought out a worn bucket and began to walk the dry path where a river once flowed. She placed her bucket in the dust, lifted it toward the sky, and sang. Her song was not a song of defeat. It was a song of hope, of trust that the rains would come. The next day, a child joined her, then another. Soon, the village that had nearly fallen silent again began to sing again. And the rains returned, not because of magic, but because hope had awakened the courage to believe again. Hope listens to the cry of the poor, not only with ears, but with the heart. When Jesus walked among us, He did not rush past the beggar on the roadside. He stopped. He looked. He asked, "What do you want me to do for you?" He gave dignity to the voiceless. He gave attention to the invisible. He saw not problems to be solved, but lives to be loved. Today, the cry of the poor is all around us. It is in the tired mother who waits in line at the food bank, her eyes full of quiet worry. It is in the refugee who clutches his child tighter as he crosses into a foreign land. It is in the addict sleeping on a park bench, hoping to be seen as more than a mistake. It is in the lonely widow who watches the seasons change from the same small window. If we truly wish to be people of hope, we must listen. We must listen to the cries that are uncomfortable. We must listen to the cries that ask us to change, to give, to love more deeply. Listening is not a passive act. It is a work of mercy. It is an opening of the heart. It is the first step toward healing the wounds of injustice, of isolation, of despair. Hope is born when we dare to listen, not with impatience, not with judgment, but with the compassion of Christ, who hears every sigh, every tear, every whispered prayer. And so, dear friends, I ask you in your homes, in your neighborhoods, in your cities, whose cry do you hear? Who is waiting for you to stop, to look, to listen? Soft pause. Let us be attentive. Let us be courageous. Let us be a people who refuse to walk by. For when we listen to the cry of the poor, we listen to the heart of Christ Himself. And in listening, we become living signs that hope is still alive. Hope walks with those who wait in darkness. It does not flee from the shadows. It does not demand that sorrow disappear before it can draw near. Hope walks slowly, patiently, humbly, like a companion who refuses to abandon the one who struggles to see even a glimmer of light. There are many who wait in darkness. The young man burdened by anxiety, who fears each new day. The woman grieving the loss of a child, whose arms itch for what they can no longer hold. The elderly father left alone in a home that no longer echoes with laughter. Each of them waits. Each of them longs for light. And the Lord, who is rich in mercy, draws near to them. He does not come shouting or scolding. He comes as he came that first Christmas night, quietly, gently, as a fragile child, born into a world of cold and uncertainty. He is not afraid of the darkness. He enters into it and he transforms it from within. Hope walks with those who wait because God Himself waits with us. He is the God of patience, the God of long-suffering love. He waits for the wounded to find strength. He waits for the hardened heart to soften. He waits for the lost to take even one small step toward home. There is a woman I once heard about who visited the sick in a hospital every week. She had no medical degree, no wealth to offer. She simply sat by their bedsides, held their hands, and whispered, "You are not alone. I am here." Sometimes she would sit in silence for hours, saying little, doing nothing, except being present, like a candle burning quietly through the night. In her simple fidelity, she bore witness to hope. We are called to do the same. We are called to stay, even when the darkness feels endless. We are called to remain even when words fail us and solutions seem far away. We are called to be the ones who whisper again and again, "You are not alone. God is here." Hope does not remove all suffering immediately. It does not erase every tear, but it makes it possible to bear the waiting, to endure the night, to believe that morning will come. So let us not be afraid of the dark places. Let us not rush past the wounded or grow impatient with the slow work of healing. Let us, instead, be those who walk gently alongside, offering not easy answers, but faithful presence, soft pause. Let us be, for one another, small lights that refuse to go out, signs that even in the deepest night, God's love endures and His promises remain sure. Hope is renewed each time we choose to love. It is not a distant thing, reserved for grand occasions or heroic deeds. It is something born anew each day, often in small and hidden acts that no one else may notice. Yet in these small acts, God's kingdom draws near. A mother rises before dawn to prepare breakfast for her children, though her own body is weary. A teacher stays after school, listen to a struggling student, even when the world outside rushes by. A young man gives up his afternoon to sit with an elderly neighbor who has no family left to visit. In these simple gestures, unnoticed by the world, hope is reborn. In these quiet offerings of love, the soil of despair is broken open and seeds of new life are planted. When Jesus fed the crowds, He did not begin with an army of workers or an overflowing storehouse. He began with a child who offered his few loaves and fishes. It was humble, but in the hands of the Lord, it became a feast that nourished thousands. So it is with love. Every time we choose to forgive rather than hold a grudge, hope is renewed. Every time we choose to speak kindness instead of harshness, hope is renewed. Every time we welcome the stranger, visit the sick, console the grieving, hope is renewed. We often think the world is changed by great movements, great leaders, great plans, but it is changed first and foremost by the love we choose in the ordinary moments of our lives. Sometimes it feels like our small acts are drops in a vast ocean of pain and injustice. But it is precisely through these drops that the ocean begins to be healed. Love is never wasted. Mercy is never forgotten. Each act of tenderness, each choice for compassion becomes part of a great river of hope that flows through history and renews the face of the earth. And so, dear brothers and sisters, let us not grow tired of loving. Let us not grow weary of doing good, even when it seems unnoticed, even when it feels fruitless. Gentle pauses. For every time we love, we make space for God's grace to enter. Every time we love, we proclaim, not with grand speeches, but with our lives, that hope is never lost. Let us go forward, then, with humble hearts and open hands. Let us choose love again and again, and in doing so, become living witnesses to a hope does not disappoint, a hope that endures forever. My dear friends, hope is not an idea. Hope is not a dream far beyond our reach. Hope is a living flame entrusted to each of us to be guarded, to be nourished, to be shared. Today you have heard that hope is never lost because God is near. Hope is never lost because love still speaks in the silence. Hope is never lost because even in the darkest night, the dawn is already stirring. You and I, we are called to be bearers of this light. We are called to be signs of mercy in a world often wounded by indifference. We are called to be quiet witnesses to the truth that every person matters. Every life is precious. Every soul is loved beyond measure. And so I invite you, gently but firmly, do not be afraid to believe in hope. Do not be afraid to live hope, even when the road is long, even when your heart grows tired. Choose hope. Choose to love one more time. Choose to forgive one more time. Choose to begin again one more time. Soft pause. Carry this flame with you. Carry it into your homes, into your neighborhoods, into every encounter. And know that in doing so, you are part of a greater story. The story of God's endless love for the world. Good luck, dear brothers and sisters. Good luck on your journey of luck, your journey of hope, your journey of faith. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for your courage to listen, for your courage to believe, and for your courage to walk in the light. May the Lord bless you and keep you always in His tender care. Amen.